Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
I have a neuroscience background and a theater degree, and ended up going to law school, and ended up getting an MBA.
Whoa. Is that like 4 things?
Yes. It's on my website.
Wait, which website?
Chic, Geek, on the About. I don't really like to publicize what my degrees are because it's not what the degrees that make me who I am today. It's what I've learned through the whole course, being exposed to this course of education and the people I meet. And therefore, it made me be more open-minded and, trying to apply other skill sets into another field that normally isn't in that little box that most people think. If you're a theater major, why would you want to be a lawyer? Actually, it goes hand in hand. And ended up doing neuroscience, and I ended up focusing on biotech, on neurodegenerative diseases. And then having an MBA actually helped me look at it in more business aspect. I've always been corporate. I've always been on that academic route. Haven't had the opportunity to do that entrepreneur path yet, but being in Silicon Valley and exposed to all these individuals, it's hard not to be one. And I feel as though sometimes I'm a little behind because everyone's already started a long time ago. But my path is different. It led me to where I'm at today.
Well, it sounds to me like it's the exact reason why you're doing the Chic meets Geek event.
Yeah.
I mean, everything about it, bringing 2 really largely separate types of communities together.
Absolutely, yes. But yes, it was my first time using webcam with Chris Pirillo.
Well, it was your
excited.
Right, it was your first time ever. Ever using a webcam.
No, now I have all my friends using. We're sitting across the table. And we think it's really cool. I know that sounds so dorky, but I'm a science geek, and I love the fact that I'm in Silicon Valley. There's not many of us out here, but the fact that I'm learning, that's what geeks are. You're always wanting to learn. And I don't know how to code. I learned how to code a little bit here to revise my website. However, there's tons of subjects out there that we can always learn from each other. And if you just say that you are just a geek, a tech geek, and that's all you need to know, then you are no longer learning. You need to expand your horizon by exposing yourself to other people with different subjects. There's mathematicians, there's science geeks, there's even theater geeks who do actual research on the history of theater. Because back in the day, Shakespeare was considered to be, you have to learn about Shakespeare. You have to be exposed around the theater, and they were considered the geeks because everybody wanted to be a part of that. And women weren't allowed to be actresses or be a part of that play. Men had to play the role of a woman character. So now times change, and people think that just being a tech person or engineer, just learning how to code, is just a geek, and I disagree.
Well, and just to clarify, this is Carol's second time using a webcam. Second time. Number 2, what you are seeing here is her second time using a webcam. This little interview thing, talking about what will be, I guess, a continuing series of events, Chic meets Geek, spelled like it is above my head here in the video. It started, I guess, a little while ago. You're about to hit your 3rd event, but give us a brief history as to really what brought about the idea of bringing Chic and Geek together.
Well, it all started really. It's my nickname, Chic meets Geek, and also the fact that I have friends in the chic world and I have friends in the geek world. Growing up as a geek, I always wanted to be that chic person. Who wouldn't want to be that popular girl, or where all the boys look at you and you're being ignored because you're smart or you're studying so hard. And but if you're a geek, you can learn anything. You literally just study the magazines, watch the TV, fix your hair, dress differently. And that's where it all started, where I wanted to be this person after such a long period of time where I was so geeky and I established, such an expertise in the science field. That's what I wanted to focus on, and ended up, trying out for the cheerleading squad afterward, did acting. More my parents, actually, they play a huge role in why, such a geeky girl. They wanted me to be a doctor, with an Asian background, focus on neuroscience. the more they wanted me to do neuroscience behind their back, I majored in theater. So that's the reason why I have neuroscience and theater.
Yeah, geeks have a tendency of like doing their own thing, despite what anybody else says.
Yeah, I just did it because I wanted to do something different, but I still accomplished what they wanted me to do.
So you've created, an event that really is, I would say, it sets itself apart from regular old geek events. I mean, I was told this by at least two separate friends saying that we had to connect with one another, and I guess they pretty much told you the same thing, which is good, I hope, not bad. But they said you've got to check out this event. You're taking a traditionally very geeky community and a traditionally very chicy community, and they're different backgrounds, different interests, and bringing them together, sharing ideas. What comes from this? What kind of connections are made at these types of events? What is someone going to get as either a chic person or a geek person?
Well, the reason why I understand the chic and the geek community, a chic and the geek community, is because I live both that life. I mean, even to this day, I sit on the San Francisco Opera Board of Directors, and I also help out with the Google Open Social Hackathon Board, which does on Friday.
Wow.
And hack all the way until Sunday. You release a new business online, a website, something that the consumer can use. So with these two dynamics, I wanted to merge the two. I've always asked the geeks in Silicon Valley and San Francisco, come to the opera with me, go to the ballet, do this, more chic thing. They weren't comfortable in going there. There was nothing where they would be interested in going, except, okay, we're going with Carol. And the chic world, they were really interested in going over there because they didn't want to spend all of their weekend hours during the day to sit down and listen to a bunch of people talk, because they only have such a time, short attention span. I'm not saying all chic people are, but it's a little different. It's like heavy tech, lectures about why to start a business, and their interest is a little different. So I decided, well, I ended up hanging out with these people who I've met through the fact that I acted for a year in Hollywood, and then I met all these individuals who were in Silicon Valley, not knowing who they were. And it turns out they were influential leaders. Some people call them celebrities. I don't call them celebrities because it's too mainstream. To me, these people are influential leaders and role models because they're humble. All they care about is creating stuff and doing something good for the community. They don't care about the press. And it goes for both the geek and the chic.
So
I want to combine these two people together.
And you've done it effectively. You've had two events. The third one coming up here, June 3rd, 2010, at least at this point in time. And each one of these, I believe, has been or will be, at least to the third one, held at Automatic's headquarters, which most people, or at least geeks, would know as like where WordPress exists, at least the core team of WordPress. And you've known Matt for at least a fair amount of time, at least long enough to have him offer up this space for such an event.
Yes, he's one of the individuals I think is quite humble, and he does what he loves. And he doesn't really care about the fame or anything behind it, because I think a lot of people who want to be an entrepreneur, they claim that they want to be that because they want the millions, or they want either the fame or the power. When you lose sight of why you're doing it in those respects, then you're not going to achieve it. And Matt is a good example of someone who's humble and who does something he loves. And all he wants to do is share to me how to build your own website and make it easier for them. And he was gracious enough to donate this. And each of the Chic and Geek has a charity component to it. And each of the charities I choose is based on the skill sets that are revealed by each of these leaders who are my speakers. And the first two events are people who I know very well. And so after spending significant time, I know certain things about them that not many people in the public know, unless you sit down and have coffee with them or you're really friends. Mm-hmm. And so hearing their stories, I'm able to take their skill sets and see how I can elevate the other person who's on the speaker panel and actually use the nonprofit to actually help them catapult to the next level.
So, it's interesting to me to see something like this happen, because you always seem to gain perspective, no matter what your background is, no matter where your interests lie. Sometimes, as geeks, we get caught up in this echo chamber. We just assume that everybody thinks the same way that we do, and that's just not the case. Sometimes your knowledge, as you kind of alluded to earlier, you expand your horizons by having these interactions, legitimate interactions with people who don't have the same background, don't have the same knowledge. This can actually lead to breakthroughs. I mean, whether or not they would take place at the events that you've done or will do, it's that you're setting the stage for that kind of success that I think is extremely empowering. The fact that the SF Geek community, I've heard about through them. That's how we've connected. I think it's any time that you take one group and try to mix it with another group, if you even see a sliver of success come from that, then it was a successful event.
Thank you. It's really hard though, because at the end of the day, you're not going to please everybody. Because the geeks have an idea of what a conference is like. It's a day, it's during the week, or even an all-day conference on a Saturday. Chic people do not value that. They value a night event that's very extravagant. They, at the end of the day, these groups are exactly the same. They just hang out in different crowds. They dress differently. They have the same hierarchy. Because you got the geeks who are up there who are, the CEOs and founders of these gigantic companies now. They're influencing how social media and how we use the internet. And then you got the geeks in the middle who are the entrepreneurs who are trying to get to that point and full of ideas and very thirsty to create something and hunger for knowledge. And there's other geeks there who are, looking up to these individuals. And then you've got the same thing with Chic. You got the socialites who are on top of the game. They always have pictures. They're not online. They are photographed on high society magazines. That's the difference. You see the geeks all over online, but you think, just because this high society individual is not online.
Right.
They're coveted magazines that nobody can get in unless you're a real high society, socialite. And then you got the rest who aspire to be a socialite, and the rest, are followers. They look up to these people. And you have to be in the crowd, in the group. You hang out with them. Because when I first told my friends who are geeks, and I said, let's come to my event. And, because I just got really tired of driving back to Silicon Valley and driving up to San Francisco, why not have all my friends drive up to meet each other? I understand that some of your friends can't be friends with others. But this is completely different. How cool would it be if I told my friends, just come here, see what it's like. I'm giving you, food and alcohol, and meet some interesting people you would not meet on the other side. What you consider as a celebrity in the geek world, as Matt or Ricky Zuckerberg or, David Weekley. You may not even envision yourself ever meeting an NFL football player from Dallas Cowboys or Miss California candidate or world-renowned ballerina sitting next to these geeks. And they are all special in many ways. And if all these people are looking up to them, why not have these role models talk about how they start to become who they are today?
I get, not to interrupt, Carol, I get questions from across my community of geeks. How do you do what you do? How can I, make a career out of just being myself? And I answer that question in general terms, but typically you got to think different. You've got to, go beyond where you think you can go. And an event like a Chic Meets Geek is a perfect example. Instead of going to a typical industry event where you're just going to hear the same thing over and over and over again, to, really look beyond that, I think it deserves, attention. And this is just to I guess, make this the actual time, I'm tripping over my words here, the announcement that for the Chic Meets Geek event of June 3rd, 2010 in San Francisco at Automatics headquarters, right there on the Embarcadero, I am essentially sponsoring 10 geeks. So you have Geek VIP passes for the event, and I am securing 10 of them for 10 of my geeks. Assuming they're my geeks. They don't even have to be my geeks. They can just be geeks in general. And we'll then be, I guess, giving these passes away.
Yeah, I mean, the opportunity to have VIP passes allows you to speak to these celebrity or influential leaders before the crowd comes in, being exposed to the press that has published photos in MTV, their chief photographer MTV, Rolling Stones, People, Spin. We have a high society photographer. Also, within Balance, we also have tech photographers as well. I do not cut corners because I believe in highlighting distinct qualities that you see at a Chic event. So there's going to be a red carpet. Yes, do not be intimidated. When I say Chic meets Geek and there's a red carpet, geeks,
Wow.
show up the way you show up. If you dress in t-shirt, jeans, and a tattered little cap, please come in because it's Chic meets Geek, not Chic meets another Chic. Okay? Don't be ashamed of it. If that's who you are dressed every day, you go to work and you do that, or you work from home, be like that. You don't have to dress up. And so some of my geek friends have ended up trying to start wearing, fancier clothes because they want to fit in, or just because you want to dress up. And I know some of them do. But at the end of the day, people start twittering out and saying, oh, there's not that many geeks. Just because the geek is wearing a nice outfit does not mean you've taken the geek out of that person.
That's true. The geek is still very much in me because I think I own like 2 nice outfits and I never wear them. So if you are in the San Francisco Bay Area and you are, open to this event, June 3rd, 2010, at least this one, like I said, I am sponsoring 10 geeks. And there's a simple form you can fill out. Right now it's been blogged on chicmeetsgeek.com. Carol posted it. I think we've got a deadline, though, this Wednesday.
By Wednesday?
Right.
Yes.
So, it's not that we're just giving them away to anybody. You've got to be qualified in terms of this chance to get into this event that, as you said, proceeds are going to a charity. So, in essence, some of the proceeds from the sponsorship are going to be going towards the charity. So you have a chance to hit an event where you can hang out with other geeks, meet some. Is it what would you call the chic people other than chic people?
What do you mean? Like the definition of what they're going to be like?
Well, I could say geeks and that's fine, but I can't really say chics without there being that's.
Chic people are not just fashion people, just so you know that, because a lot of geeks said, oh, let's combine fashion with tech, which is not true, because you've got dancers, chefs who cook, you've got, sports athletes. I've covered the whole gamut. This upcoming Chic Meets Geek, I've got chic men and geeky women. Does that mean the crowd's going to be like that? No. If you've gone to my event, it's 50-50. I deliver the women there, and I do deliver the men there. Equally in chic and geek men, and chic and geek women. So I would say chic is someone who sort of embraced cultural arts. And cultural arts is a very broad term. And if you look in the dictionary, yes, chic is about fashion, the way, you present yourself. And it's a term that's from the French word. But, to make it broad, geek is not just technology. Geek is science. I'm a science geek, but I love tech. I'm learning. Not there yet, but I'm learning. Webcam, I'm in love already.
Oh, that's good. See, it was such a thing that worked out so well that I offered to do this interview, to post this video, to get the word out about the event. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. Actually, as it happens, there may be another event that's pulling me down to San Francisco through a potential sponsor. So I may be in town during June 3rd. But if I'm not able to make it, I know you're going to push. That's why I didn't want to say anything. But even if I can't be there, that's why I want at least 10 geeks to be there. And with any luck, to be able to help facilitate that process, through this particular video and associated blog post.
I also want to mention that, at this event, really short, it's basically when you walk in, it looks intimidating for a geek because it's red carpet, there's going to be red carpet interviews, and then you walk in, there's going to be tech demos right there, like startups and stuff like that, showing their iPhone app, their website, and then you're going to go up there, it's a full bar, open bar, with delicious, different types of food from local businesses, because I want to focus on local businesses. And then there's going to be a speaker panel. After the speaker panel, we're going to have a fashion show. by one of the speaker panel, Jay Nicolasario from Project Runway, who I've teamed up to create a new Chic Meets Geek fashion line, 8 to 10 looks that evening, and it's going to be auctioned off. And don't worry about the size because he's going to tailor it, and it's the proceeds will be towards the nonprofit organization. And there's a silent auction too, so you can like get 1 hour lunch with Jay Nicolasario from Project Runway, or 1 hour lunch with a geek who I will be meeting soon. Because the last time we had Kai Quang, the founder of Guitar Hero, give out 1 hour of his time. We even had Ben Parr.
Wait, did you say the founder of Guitar Hero?
Yes.
Well, he was at your event.
He was my speaker at the last event.
Okay, so you had the chance to meet the guy who invented Guitar Hero. You had the chance.
I'm not so sure he's coming. I'm going to try to get him to come back. But...
Right, well, but the point is that you never know who you're going to meet. So for someone to say, it's not an event for, Guitar Hero, well, you never know. You never know who you're going to be sitting next to.
So 90% of the speakers who came to my last event are returning. They're in the crowd. But I'm not about highlighting celebrities or people who are well known. You know, they've already had their highlight. They're going to be in the crowd mingling. The people who are being focused, you can find out Chic Meets Geek under speakers. They're going to be focused on. They're being highlighted. But the whole point of this is that at conferences, you stand in a long line. They're on this huge platform. You look up to them like they're as though they're a pedestal. Here, it's flat. Everyone's talking. There's a moderated panel of speakers. And then after that, they're drinking and sipping cocktails with you and eating food. You can get into a photo booth. At the end of the day, Chic and Geek, they all look alike in a photo booth. They're making funny, crazy faces. But besides the iPhone app demos, the tech demos and stuff like that, you'll get Neiman Marcus, you have other companies there like Air Essentials for pickup. And people who are in VIP also gets a VIP bag. And in that gift bag has tons of swag from Chic and Geek World. And last time we've had was a Petty and Manny, some spa stuff. I mean, I know geeks love that, even though they say they don't. And the Chic people, they love those little, like, online storage cards. You can store all these documents online. You know, maybe instructions how to use a webcam.
Right, exactly. Things that geeks take for granted, of course. I'd only assume that. So, right. I'll be sure to post a link to the application form online. I think what will make it... I'll just say it, and then we'll have the link redirect to the app form. Go.tagjag.com/Chic Meets Geek. And of course, chic, as you said, the French word CHIC. That's how you say it, right? Chic? Not chick?
No, because that's, if you say Chic Meets Geek, and that becomes like a hookup convention.
That's bad.
We're not there yet.
Okay. That's not what it's all about, right? You're hooking people up in a mental capacity.
Absolutely. And anywhere you go, there's a possibility you can meet that someone too. But that is not what I'm preaching. Okay,
I hear you. I guess that's... Go ahead.
If there's any tech companies who would like to have a presence, like to have an exhibit booth, feel free to contact me at chicmeetsgeek.com. There's a contact form. We would love to have your presence there. And who wouldn't want to have a booth, tech booth, right next to Neiman Marcus?
Like I said, I'm doing what I can to get the word out to other geeks, and that's about it. That's about as much as I can do right now, and hopefully it'll help if 10 geeks come along and say, yes, I can.
Yeah, because, seriously, a lot of geeks has challenged me, and they said, well, they're not really my target market, these Chic people. Well, at the end of the day, you're an entrepreneur. You're building the iPhone apps or websites. Seriously, who are you building for? Your competitor who can tweak it and make it better? Why are you pitching it to them? At the end of the day, you need to pitch it to people who are not tech savvy, who will use your product. There are angel investors in the cultural arts world and have no idea. You can pitch it to them. They're like, this is amazing. I can totally integrate this into my thing. I don't know what you're doing. You go with it. And that has happened in the past. So this saves you time and money. If you're an entrepreneur, you're targeting both markets at the same time. You can get an angel investor or a person who is in the tech world and also somebody in the cultural arts world. Why have to dress up in a nice suit to go to a red carpet and try to pitch to them in an uncomfortable, out of your element, atmosphere, when you can do it at my event and wear your jeans and t-shirt and still be accepted? And it's nothing wrong wearing jeans and t-shirts. I love wearing it. I'm wearing something right now. So, being chic is not being on all the time.
Sure. Well, neither is Geek. I mean, I'm not on all the time. Well, actually, no, I take that back. I guess I am on all the time. somewhat with what I do. I'm always online. The chic people are not always online. So thank you, Carol, for your time.
Thank you.
And
for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Like I said, I was willing to give it a shot to see if we could get some geeks floating your direction. At least those who will be in the Bay Area during this time. And you know, with any luck, a year from now, you'll have many more events under your belt. A very fashionable belt with a buckle that's not too big and doesn't shine the wrong way or anything. I'm wearing a belt right now. I got it. I usually don't, but see, look, it's like, see? And it's in, sorry, it doesn't match my shoes. It's a brown belt, and I'm wearing black shoes.
If you're confident, you will look good in any color.
You know, I am confident I was wearing the wrong colored belt or shoes. That's what I'm confident with. This is why I'm the geek and not the chic guy here. So there you go. She's bridging the gap. ChicMeetsGeek.com. They're also on Twitter. Chic Meets Geek. You can follow them there as well. And if you are in the Bay Area, consider going to fill out that form. go.tagjag.com/chicmeetsgeek. chicmeetsgeek.com. And then, of course, at the point where the event's been wrapped up, well, I'm sure Carol's planning on doing more, right?
And it's going to be probably going to different cities in 2011.
There you go.
Prepared.
Yeah, so even if it's not in SF and you don't know anybody in SF, because chances are you do, and if you don't, you need to get out more and meet more people. That's part of the reason these events are good to attend. So apparently then Chic Meets Geek may be coming to your city at some point in the future. Very cool.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carol.
And just so you know, if you're in other cities, please still reach out to me because we'd love to highlight you in different ways. If you're in San Diego, it's known to be Science Geeks. If you're in DC, you're a political or legal geek. Or New York, financial geeks. We're everywhere.
Geeks are, we're omnipresent. There's not a place on this earth that we do not exist.
Because geeks rule, end of the day.
You heard it.
Geeks rule. I was a geek, always a geek. Doesn't matter what I look like, how I dress, and stuff like that.
Oh, I'm always a geek. That's not gonna change.
You're amazing, Chris.
Yeah, thanks, Carol.